Hey everybody, what's going on? I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom I'm actually recording this on Valentine's Day, so I'll say happy Valentine's Day or universal love day, whatever you want to call it. However, if you acknowledge it, if not, just know you're loved, right? I can't not acknowledge it. Anyways, so I'm going to bring you the energetic and astrological aspects for the upcoming week starting today, because we've got some energy stirring moving all the way through the 25th. So this is going to cover a lot of territory, but I think you'll find that the themes and the energies are going to be beneficial to go this far out. Now, of course, let me just say this, because those of you who follow me, you know I'm a Niner fan, and yes, we lost the Super Bowl, and I'm still pretty sad about it. Yes, it was not an easy thing for me to digest, but I comfort myself in saying at least we got to the Super Bowl. So, and you know, obviously there's a lot of other fans out there that are just as disappointed, and clearly many of you probably root for other teams or don't even care about football. So it doesn't matter. I'm just kind of putting that out there because one of the things, hopefully this helps you, is that if you're working through something and it really, and this has nothing to do with the Niners for me, but it's just a little teaching point that if we're working through something and it's really consternated inside of us, and it's just gotten us like right there. Oftentimes, if we can talk through it, or at least maybe even to write it down, verbalize it, that sort of thing, it helps to lose the power over us. And I want to just mention, and this is Pluto in Aquarius kind of energy, because remember, Aquarius is an air sign, but Aquarius is a fixed air sign, and it often is associated with our fixed ideas. And Pluto is our planet of power, right? And so here's Pluto now officially in Aquarius until 2043. I mean, we've got a long ways to go with Pluto here. And so we're working with how things get stirred up inside of us, ideas, right? If you've ever watched the movie Inception, find my words. If you watch the movie Inception, then you know that there's a phrase there that says an idea is like a virus. Once it's planted, it spreads itself, right? And that's true. And I often talk about the narratives that we tell ourselves or the stories we tell ourselves. Who told you that, right? So coming back to why I'm bringing this up, because the energy right now is a little cray-cray. And I was triggered by something this morning that I can't seem to get my head wrapped around, and still until I start talking about it, or until I start verbalizing what's really going on. And that means I sat down with my journal. I even just spoke out loud to myself, and kind of had some reflection. And then I ended up calling a third party who I trust and I feel safe with, and I kind of talked through it a little bit. And finally, I was able to say, okay, I can settle again, right? So I share this vulnerably so that you can be invited to do the same, that there's no shame in talking through the triggers and the dramas and the things like that, because it's going to happen. Okay. All right. So let me get to the themes here. I'm going to talk about Mars in Aquarius because it moved into Aquarius on the 13th of this month. And then Venus is also moving into Aquarius at the end of the week on the 16th. And I'm going to give you a card of the week. And the one that I pulled was the Six of Wands. Now, again, this is my Celtic Tarot deck. I'm going to try and do this. I remember, my last video, I think I held it up and the light reflected off of it so much you could hardly see the card. So sorry about that. But in my Celtic deck, this is, of course, the Six of Wands, and it is in the Rider-Waite deck. It has a knight or a gentleman riding on a horse with the wreath in his hair, and it's like a victory, right? And so we think of the Six of Wands as a milestone that we've reached, something significant that we can feel confident, self-assured, we can feel successful. There's some happy outcomes here. We've used our strengths, we've gone through so much that now we can say, okay, I've achieved some of my goals. That doesn't mean that we are necessarily at the end of our tunnel, but we want to keep going. But here we are, we have a moment to celebrate. And I think that's important too, is very often we don't take time to celebrate the little wins. These are wins that we should celebrate. You know, one of the things that my clients, my coaching clients know that we start our sessions with celebrations or wins. We want to reinforce what we're already doing well, or we want to be able to toot our own horn because we very often dismiss and it's just like, oh, next, and you take it for granted. But this is a time to strengthen our confidence as we continue our endeavors. So some of us may get acknowledgement for our efforts, might get an award of some sort. And so the Six of Wands is encouraging us to keep putting ourselves out there, be proud of what we've achieved, shout it from the rooftops, you know, be your biggest cheerleader, have others, you know, be open to receive it from others as well. And so this is an opportunity to believe in who we are. And I think it's a great way to restore confidence if we felt a little shaken, especially leading up to the end of this week. Because like I say, the energy seems a little wonky. It's like, how do I say this? The energy right now feels like it's an oyster in the pearl. That's the image that I'm given. And we're being rubbed, we're being tumbled and consternated to a place where we need to slough off some of the old patterning, some of the old thinking. And that's exactly what all this Aquarius energy is inviting us into. So not only do we have Aquarian energy, but another theme that's going to be coming up on Monday is on the 19th, we have the sun ingressing into the sign of Pisces. So there's going to be some sweet healing energy, some great compassion, some great creativity. Now, also, let me back up and just talk a little bit about Mars in Aquarius was also canoodling or conjunct with Pluto. And so when Mars, our planet of motivation, our planet of aggression, assertion, getting things done, meets up with power Pluto, with the forcer, the enforcer, now we've got a powerful force moving together that if we can work with it, then we may find that our ideas pack a powerful punch when we are trying to get things done, and that we can win others over to it if they're beneficial, right, for the greater good. And keep in mind too that Venus is going to be chasing Mars once she ingresses into Aquarius as well. And she's going to but she's going to become exact with Pluto just after the ingress into Aquarius. And so we're going to have not only Mars, which is moving away from Pluto, but we're going to have Venus then applying to Pluto and moving away and then catching up with Mars, where we're going to have these cosmic lovers. Mars represents our masculine, Venus represents our feminine, and Mars, the sexual aspect, Venus, the love and how we express love, how we receive love. They're coming together, right, in the sign of Aquarius. That happens on the 23rd. I'll get to that in a second. But we have this creativity being stirred up inside of us. And when Venus has a moment where she ingresses into Aquarius and she canoodles with Pluto, then there's going to be this powerful creative force that comes in. Watch your mind, watch your dreams, watch the way in which you process information. And it could be anything in relationships, it could be anything with finances, but the conversations that you have could be really transformative, very powerful. Because remember, Pluto wants to transform things, or it does. It kind of forces us many times. So notice the conversations that may be coming up, whether it's internal or external, and it's going to help shift and transform the old patterns that we've had stuck in our minds, right? Or in our belief systems that may pop up here. Now, with the sun ingressing into Pisces also on Monday, like I mentioned, there's going to feel like this healing salve that comes over us. So please be gentle with yourself as you're walking through these upcoming days. There's going to feel, maybe you'll feel like the crazy person. I jokingly say that none of us are crazy, but we all have the issues. And so here comes this Piscean energy, which says, you know what, let's unify ourselves. Let's find a higher spiritual belief to latch onto, to be able to say, wait a minute, maybe my ideas of myself or another were a little too fixed, were a little too judgmental. Let me see if I can bring in some creativity to my relationships. Maybe I can get a little more creative with my finances. You may also find that others are coming out of the woodwork because they're showing greater compassion and they want to provide an opportunity or a resource to be able to help whatever the situation might be that you've been struggling with. Another reason why it's important and it's good to talk through whatever it is that you're walking through and dealing with, because others have a chance to be of service. Pisces loves to be of service. And you couple that with the humanitarian mindset of Aquarius, we can get a lot of good things done. Now, I mentioned the Mars and Venus connection. That happens on the 23rd, is where it's exact. But we're going to be feeling them chasing each other, if you will, really Venus chasing Mars up until that point. And when they come together, there's a real spark that there's this growing need to become more authentic in our relationships, more authentic and true to ourselves, especially in relationships. And we can feel like we can no longer live for others or for their expectations. And so we're going to have to be looking at, I will say this, there may be a few of us, a few of you, me, who knows, that will say, this particular relationship doesn't serve me. I cannot be a part of it anymore because I can't be authentic, right? That could pop up. Now, it could also be a time where you meet a soulmate. There could be a time where this particular week where something comes together that you are able to manifest that right relationship for yourself. You've got to get creative and stay open to the unusual. There could be a real breakthrough when it comes to, who am I really in relationship? Do I want one? And is my relationship, let's say you're in a bonded relationship, is it in the format that serves both of us and that lets us both be our authentic selves, right? These are some questions that we're going to be playing with. And so I think we're going to notice that this week in particular, in the upcoming, say, 10 days or so, that we may find ourselves in a position of having some tough communications and some crucial conversations, because we need to be able to get to the heart or the meat of what is true for me, what is true for you, what do I need to be the best version of myself, and how do we bring that out in both of us. So pay attention to that. Again, Pluto is going to be here in Aquarius for quite some time, shaking things up. Look at your chart, notice where it is in your chart, and see what kind of energy comes up for you. And then you'll be able to navigate this a little bit better and go, okay, I'm not surprised that I'm dealing with this particular issue. On the Jamie Dawn Show, which is on Mondays on 12 Radio at 11 a.m. Pacific, the first 4 episodes, I have gone through Pluto by the houses. So have a listen. And if you're not familiar with your chart, get familiar at least where Aquarius is in your chart. And that's where Pluto is going to be transforming and changing things in your life in a very powerful way. And of course, Pluto makes other aspects to other planets. So it's not just that particular house, but there's themes that show up. So again, please be gentle with yourself. Talk with someone if you need help. I'm here. I am going to be going away for an intensive in the next couple of days, and then I'll be back in office if you need me. And I'm very excited because I have a very special announcement that I will make next week. And who knows, maybe I'll save it. But pay attention to the last week of February, because I'm going to be in a different place with somebody different. And that's as much as I'll say about the announcement. So you may find that the video for the last week of February, first part of March, will be in a different setting. So that'll be fun. All right, you guys, thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting. Please come find me at jamiedawn.com and subscribe. If you have friends or family that would benefit from my videos, then please have them sign up. That's how the more viewers I have, the better I can do my work. All right, you guys, take care.